Hi there, today I'm going to be joined by Mark and Phil from the Deal Wargames Club, and we're going to be running through their favourite 5. So we'll be asking 5 standard questions and plus 1 bonus question that can be anything of their choice. So please join us and I hope you enjoy it. So, Mark, thank you for joining us.
I'm happy to be here.
And so Mark, can you show us something that you've brought from your early days of wargaming?
So from my early days of wargaming, I have these figures who Phil's told me are minifigs? Minifigs. And these were what I picked up off my granddad back in the day. So you're talking very early 80s, which I got, and I've kept them. They're still in the original box. Gosh. They stay on my shelf. It's very sentimental.
And did you paint them yourself?
No.
Oh,
no,
right,
no,
okay.
I didn't know. I just remember being given a box and giving it a good shake as you do as a child.
Yeah.
And then over the years, I've had a look and thought, oh, that lance has come off and that pike's broken and that's gone and that horse is gone. Yeah. But I'll never get rid of them. They are part of my very early childhood, and I think it's what really. I always had an interest in history and but getting these and then joining the army and playing my first game and thought, this is brilliant, and then not wargaming for years, and then suddenly finding that 10 minutes away from where I live is a wargames club, and walking in there on the first night and you think,
and was that Deal back in the day?
Yeah, that was Deal. I've only been
is it the same club essentially?
Well, yeah, because I've only been in the club for about 2 years, 2 years or something like that.
But it's the same club that you went to as a
No.
Right.
I went to a club in Germany when I was stationed in Germany.
Right, okay.
And we used to play games in the basements of the pads quarters. Yeah. And it was like a 15-foot table by X amount. Yeah. And I think I used to play with guys from the light infantry because they were in the barracks in Paderborn, and I got into it, fell out of it because whatnot. And then when I left the army, I started to buy figures, started to paint, and then I suddenly found there's a wargames club 10 minutes down the road from me.
Right.
And then you walk in and you meet people like Dave Smith and the rest of them, Adi and Simon and all that. Yeah. And straight away made me feel welcome. Yeah. So. And then I find out there's some RAF people in the club, and I'm thinking, oh God,
can't have everything,
here we go. You?
Yeah. You've got to give it a certain tone.
Well, yes, you have, yeah. But that's the beginning of my early days. Of course, like everyone else, started off with the Airfix, but they'll always be on my shelf.
Yeah. Is that your complete collection?
This is my complete collection, yeah. That's it. This is all that remains, and I don't know when the box will be opened again, but
yeah. Minifigs are a real blast from the past, aren't they? I remember minifigs back in the day, and I think I remember them being about 25 pence a figure, and just thinking, gosh, that's so much money. Yeah. So how can anyone afford that?
Yeah. I remember back in the day that was big money for me. I couldn't stretch to that.
That's
why I started off how I did with 15 mil.
Yeah,
it was affordable for me.
Which is a lovely segue to your stuff, Phil.
Indeed. So. Sadly, my original figures have long been sold on, and I bought some Perry Zulu War figures instead to make up for it. But my first ever real wargame figures, apart from Airfix, were 15mm Mike's Models Zulu War figures.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
And a friend at school came up to me and said, do you fancy doing some Zulu War wargaming? And of course I was all over that. And because up until then I'd been using Airfix bandsmen and guardsmen.
Oh, right.
And I painted the Busby white and the red jacket, and then I just painted white cross belts. And they were the Zulu War British. And I cut up some greeting cards, folded the rectangles in half, and they were the tents for Isandlwana.
Oh, nice.
And my Zulus were actually Atlantic ancient Egyptians and Airfix ancient Britons.
Oh, wow. Gosh.
And they fitted the bill. Yeah. And so I bought these Mike's models, 6p each. I sent a postal order off to Brighton. Julie got the little brown box back through the letterbox, And I opened the box and I thought, oh my God, what's this? They were the most squat figures I'd ever seen. They looked like some sort of dwarf.
Oh gosh.
From the early days of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh blimey, maybe some miscasts. Well, what can we use these for?
Apparently they were unique in their sculpting.
Yeah.
And they were very detailed, however. Superbly detailed, including the Zulu who was getting shot. Who had a tiny little hole in his forehead, and yet the back of his head was all coming away.
Oh, man.
It was quite graphic. Probably should have come with a parental warning.
Yeah.
So they were my first. I bought 20 British and 20 Zulus. And we played our first game. It was with a guy called Andy Stewart.
Yeah.
And we were defending the Linker plaster farmhouse.
Yeah.
Complete with shrapnel walls that his granddad had given him from World War II.
Sorry, shrapnel wall?
Shrapnel from
actual...
the Blitz. Actual Luftwaffe shrapnel.
Nice.
And we used those as the Stonewall stroke melee bag.
Wow, gosh.
And he had some weird chart. And you rolled a dice and you looked at how many figures were firing.
Yeah.
That would give you the casual, which became fairly standard stuff. And I followed that up with an order to Peter Lang, who was also doing 15mm at the time.
Yeah.
Again, sight unseen. It was just a list in a magazine.
Yeah.
I think it was military modelling.
Yes.
And Peter Lang's items arrived, and they were the complete opposite. They were anatomically correct.
Yeah.
But completely devoid of any detail whatsoever.
So they were like little armatures or something, just blank faces.
Pretty much,
and,
yeah. But it's all you had back in the day. I
yeah.
couldn't afford 25mm for minifigs, Rose or Hinchcliffe, so that's what I had.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what kick-started me in wargaming.
Yeah.
I remember being very happy when I walked into the model shop one day and saw that Esky had actually brought out Zulu, War British and Zulu.
Right, yeah.
And immediately bought them, but they didn't have the magic of those early 15mm mics.
With the guy with the head blown out the back of that's
stuck with me even now.
Yeah.
And the British officer was a guy who stood fairly upright, and his pistol was up by his head, and he had this huge handlebar moustache.
And I hope the top lip was suitably stiff as well.
It was as stiff as a board. Yeah.
So, to mix it up a bit, Phil, do you want to show us what you've brought for your favourite period?
My favourite period, and this is one that I started fairly early, 80s I think, is Western gunfight.
Oh wow! Gosh.
Which has always been good for a quick fun skirmish. I started off with I bought a set from Tabletop Games, which is probably a defunct company up in Nottingham, but I used to buy quite a bit from them, and they came with these not so detailed cowboys.
Yeah.
And they came with a book that was like that, of rules, and it's the most detailed set of rules I've ever seen. They even had a table on if somebody loved or hated your character, how they would interact. And you've got this thick book. I think they actually had 6 volumes.
Yeah, because that's what Wild West screams of, doesn't it?
It does.
Like hard, good solid bookwork.
Well,
It's like,
there was a one-page set of rules in the back that they used at conventions. And that's what I used.
Right, okay.
I took them along for their first outing to the Wargame Club at RAF Bryce Norton.
Yeah.
And had a go with Flight Lieutenant Steve Chicken.
Oh, yes, good old Mr. Chicken.
We had a great game.
The Colonel, as we like to call him.
Yeah, and I've now progressed. The back row are Empress. They are the Earp faction taken from the film Tombstone.
Oh, okay.
And at the front I've got Artisan, Knuckle Duster, and 2 3D print figures.
Oh, nice.
Which
are they
quite
3D
nice.
Print figures that you've bought ready printed, or
I'm not clever enough to do 3D printing, so I let other people do that for me.
Okay.
Yeah, they're a bit Hollywoody, but they're quite nice.
But that's what you want from a Wild West.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. Sometimes I like a bit of realism as well.
Yeah. Right, okay.
I prefer maybe something like Culpeper Cattle Company to maybe John Wayne Red River.
Okay.
Where they're all using Colt revolvers
right
in 1850, something like that. You know, but Yeah.
As long as it's not that Cowboys versus Aliens or whatever it is.
No, I don't go down that road. Not yet, anyway. But yeah, the only thing I'm worried about is if they're a little bit brittle, if they get dropped. I guess the answer is don't drop them.
Yeah, yeah. But then I suppose that's probably true of most plastic figures, isn't it? After a while, the plastic goes a little bit more brittle, doesn't it?
The storage foam that I use is terrible for breaking off plastic bayonets.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a shame.
Get the glue out and sit there and hope it binds.
Yeah.
Some more often than not.
Yeah. Yeah, lovely figures. They'll be nice when they're done, eh, Mark?
Yes, I'm sure they'll be nice when they're finished.
Yeah.
But pay particular attention to the basing.
Yeah. Yes.
Proper basing is key.
What a dig straight away.
So I think we'll gently segue now into your glorious basing, Mark.
So don't look at the basing. Someone's got a problem with it. So at the moment, I know there's a World War II vehicle in there, but I'm really getting into modern armour and whatnot.
Yeah.
I never thought that I'd do the Russian side or the USSR, whatever you want to call it from there. Yeah. I thought I'd just be straight British forces down the road. But I found these. There's 2 companies there which I just stick to, and actually I think there's 3 So
companies. What are their companies?
So it's the Pendragon, Lancer Miniatures, and a good one I found is Red 3 Miniatures.
Right. Okay.
Really, really nice they are.
Excellent.
And it's something that I found. I've gone down a rabbit hole like we were talking about earlier with the green of the Russian paint and everything. But I love painting them. Yeah. And because of that earlier dig, I don't think I am going to base them. I think I'm just going to leave them like that.
With their glorious bases there,
yeah.
I think you should, because obviously the 2-inch brush you've used on the vehicles probably won't fit on the base anyway that well.
Actually, I didn't use a 2-inch brush. I used my favourite tool.
Did you?
Yes.
What's that, spray can?
No. I do, and I've been trying different techniques and whatnot. I think it's about the only thing that I've actually dry brushed.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
So dry brush just to sort of pick out the edges of them and stuff.
Yeah, and that was another rabbit hole I went down with, looking at numerous YouTube videos and sites, thinking, you got to do this and you got to do that, and in the end, I just did my usual. Right, I found one, I'm sticking with that one.
Sure.
So but I really enjoyed painting them, and these actually are going to be used in the club in a forthcoming game soon.
Oh, excellent.
So yes.
Oh right, okay, that's good.
I like the T34. What is that colour scheme from?
Syria.
Syria.
No, sorry, Egypt.
Right.
It's more from the Egypt colours that I got. So and I found it, and I thought, right, where can I get some T34-85s from? There we go.
So are you doing an Arab-Israeli?
No.
No, just doing a few models.
You are going to have to wait and see.
Oh,
You'll
okay.
turn up on the day, and then you'll find out what's going on.
Ah, I see.
So obviously, I post every Sunday saying what I've done.
Yeah.
The reason it's so low is because all these are on the side that I don't show.
Oh, right.
So there we go. I just
gives us something to look forward to then. A little teaser there.
Yes, it is. Yeah, for the lads in the club.
Cool.
It'll all be good.
Yeah.
And I might have some RAF flying around there.
Essential.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've just found them. Enjoyed painting them. Lovely. Cool. And they are nice.
Excellent.
Good days. Any more digs about basing before we move on?
Well, I've just put that tank there, which is a T54.
55.
T55 just puts me in mind of an article from the 1980s in military modelling where some guy was painting micro armour, but he was using ink.
Yeah?
I think it was Winsor and Newton ink. And the friend of mine said to me, why don't we have a go? So we went out and bought some Winsor and Newton ink, and they looked terrible. No idea how this guy did it, but we couldn't crack the skill. So that was the end of our flirtation with micro armour.
So just for a change of gear, now we're going to look at your favourite tool or accessory. And Mark, you're talking about your favourite tool in the last question, and I can't help but notice that your cloth looks a little flat.
Well, it is there. I use this bad boy for lots of applications. And there it is, the humble toothpick. It has saved my life so many times. And because of, and I know I'm going on about the dig about my basing and everything, but it does help with my basing because I prefer to use the texture, paint, paste and everything. Yeah, it helps me with glue because I get it everywhere. I usually stick my fingers together actually. Clearing paint pots out, sorting out the nozzles. I sometimes use a paper click as well, but this is my favourite tool. I love it. It just saves my life. Yeah, yeah. I know some people...
That good old army improvisation.
Well, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, some people, especially the person sitting next to me, is mostly thinking, what are you on about, you idiot? But this is a lifesaver to me. Yeah.
So when you were talking about the micro armour and you used it on the micro armour, were you actually using it to paint?
No, I was using it for the basing.
Oh, for the basing.
Yeah, so I make sure I can get underside, I can make sure I get around the tracks and everything.
Right, okay. Just to make sure that the axles are sunk fully in.
Yeah, sunk fully in, yeah. Wait for the ream to come along and sort them out. Yeah.
Yes, very impressive.
Yes. But you wouldn't know about mud being in the RAF though, would you? No. Just hotels and four-poster beds.
Yeah, vibrating beds.
Yes. That's a story for another day, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah. Indeed.
You have to make your beds vibrate manually, didn't you, in the army?
Well, no comment,
Famous standard in the hotel.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Right, so Phil, what have you brought along for us?
After that anticlimax, I'm presenting you with the best thing since sliced bread, and that is a wet palette. This has been an absolute game changer for me because, if I can get the lid off, the sight of that cocktail stick has just sapped all my strength.
Typical RAF strength. Look.
Yeah, just pop the paint on, bit of water on there, get it nice and damp, and your paint will stay pliable for hours. You can mix it, you can blend it. For flesh, that's great because you can gradually add the lighter flesh or white in, bring your flesh colour up. Same with highlighting and shading clothing, just work up to a lighter colour, mix it up, and then you can see what you're doing. You can really get nice graduating highlights.
Oh, lovely.
Working up to fairly light colour.
Oh, cool.
So stays wet for ages. Can't think of any downsides. They're a bit small. Yeah, that's the only thing. And if you
do they come in different sizes, or can you get a larger one?
Army Paint have just brought out a larger one. I'm looking at, and there's another company. The name escapes me. That's my Alzheimer's toy, and they've just brought out some larger ones. But that will be a bit small for me. Right. To be honest, because I tend it spreads out everywhere. But I swear by it. I use it all the time now.
What's underneath? It's just like a absorbent pad.
It's like a sponge cloth. You can make them yourself out of an old kitchen sponge, and then you just get some paper, tissue type paper, but not like handkerchief tissue type thing. And then you just wet the sponge, put the tissue on top, and that absorbs the moisture. What I like about this one is the tissue goes over the sponge. I had one from Army Painter. Bought a set of replacement tissues, and they're too small for the sponge. So you've got a 3 or 4 mil gap all the way round, so that's cutting in your space even more. Great, love it. Use it now, and I'll keep using it until I can't paint anymore.
Yeah, excellent, cool. Hi there. If you want to encourage us and let us know that we're doing a good job, why not drop us a note in the comments or hit like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and now back to the favourite 5. So, Mark, you seem to be taking us from the sublime to the ridiculous.
Oh, yes. I suppose this.
So, tell us all about your stalled project that you have.
So, I suppose I'm like nearly every single wargamer out there that's just got, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go out and buy it all, and then I'm not going to finish it. And it's just going to end up in the box of shame, which then goes on the shelf of shame. Yeah. So, I've always had an interest in the Napoleonic Wars, loved the Austrians. Oh my God, I didn't realise how hard it was to paint white. And then someone next to me who's always digging me out, oh, you do it this way, you do it this way. Someone makes it look nice and easy. So mine is my failed Napoleonic, Austrian, I don't even know what to call it. It is
your box of shame.
It is. Every time I look at it, and I look at some videos online, I say, well, I can do white now, and I can't. I just can't do it. So they're all going to stay
Let's
in there.
have a look. Let's have a look at one.
Oh, there's not even a decent one to give you, mate. So
you should have told me that you were doing a bring and buy.
I know, mate. Yeah.
That looks alright. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong?
I just kept on beating myself up because I couldn't do the white and whatnot. So they're going to live in here till 10 years time when I'm halfway to Phil's level.
I don't know why you're beating yourself up.
They look fine.
They look fine.
Yeah.
If you base them up, they're going to.
Oh, another dig about the basting, is it? There we go. Yeah. So I would love to.
He has based them. Can you not see?
Yeah.
Oh yes. He's put a lot of effort into that basing.
Yeah. I mean, you think that white's easy, but it's not.
If you base a figure, it brings the figure up.
Yeah. I might do one day.
And I think also you've done the black lines on them, so I think they look. I think this looks fine.
That's not black line, man. That's undercoat.
Well, undercoat. Well, it looks fine. It looks.
All I'd say is look at Sonic Sledgehammer.
Yeah, I do.
And
Yeah.
it's Moon Juice.
Yeah, I know about the
marine juice.
Marine juice, but he's had to change it, hasn't he?
Yes.
Because some people didn't like it. I did.
I think they changed the consistency on what he was using. So
I did find.
He does an Austrian, and he just makes it look so easy.
Yeah, I know he does. Yeah, so does Coloured and Paint Studios. Yeah. He's another good painter.
Oh, okay.
And he does a good Austrian. Yeah. So.
Yeah, get them in a block; they'll be fine. They look good.
Yeah, I might do. I've just got so much going on as we all have at the moment, so that shall go in the box of shame, on the shelf of shame.
I mean, the thing is, you've painted some of those really nicely, and I can't believe you just thrown them in that box.
Yeah.
In your wham box.
There's nothing wrong with my wham box, is there?
Is that from when you were a wham fanboy? Back in the day.
No, I was more Ross.
I can see that now.
If I treated my figures like that, they'd leave.
Well, yeah, these ones can leave. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I might do it one day, but hey, it's just a learning curve, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's a lesson we all make, and we just charge in.
Yeah.
So hey, there we go. Yeah. And I suppose now we're going to see some sublimely white-based figures, now, are we?
We know it's gonna. Yeah, we just know that Phil's gonna be.
Look at him puffing his chest out.
Yeah, he's getting ready. Here we go. Here we go.
He is.
Gentlemen, I present to you Luna.
Oh, very nice.
Luna is a skirmish game by Blacksite Studios, set on the moon. Anyone who's watched For All Mankind will find it very familiar territory. Resin figures, these are from an add-on set. This is a commander with a flag. And basically it's an alternate timeline. The Soviets got to the moon first, the Americans follow them up, and basically it's the Cold War on the moon.
So is the game based on the same premise or the same IP as?
Very similar. Yeah. They use, this is a blunt force weapon. Basically, it's like a beanbag gun.
Right. Okay.
And the game isn't necessarily about shooting each other. It's like we've got a guy with a drill.
Yeah.
It's getting the resources that are up on the moon.
Okay.
Front row is Soviets, and here we've got some. These are from a faction they call the European Space Agency, and I like to call this guy Elon for some reason.
I can't imagine
Here we've got
why.
an American commander with a pistol,
Yeah.
which
Very nice.
it doesn't do any favours for your environment suit.
No.
This is a conversion I made. This was based on one of the scenes in For All Mankind where they're using M16s.
Okay.
And they've given it ceramic plating because of heating issues.
Oh, right.
But apparently it is possible to fire a ballistic weapon on the moon.
Oh, okay.
As long as the ammunition and primer are all self-contained.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
This is another European agency guy with a pistol. And here we have a NASA astronaut armed with a power knife and a protective shield. So we might be high tech, but we're still using bladed weapons and shields.
So what's a power knife? Is that
a power knife? Would be used for mining. That would
Right.
be used for prizing ore samples out of rock,
right? Okay.
or slashing for a cosmonaut suit. Take your pick.
Either or.
Yeah.
Well, them turkey cutters.
Yeah.
Electric turkey cutter.
It's a very small game. The maximum I've used is 5 figures
Right,
per
okay.
side. Each figure gets a card. One of the big things is the figure's mass. How much mass is he carrying, and that can slow him down. Another big one is oxygen. You can lose oxygen when your suit gets damaged. When you eventually run out of oxygen, you get another turn and then you die.
So you're saying about some of them actually needing to dig and mine. Is
Yeah.
that's part of the game as well? And,
That's
and
part
does that
of the
form
game.
objectives? Or?
Yeah, you can have. They've got resource tokens. I've got some bits I've bought from some company. I'm going to paint them up.
Yeah.
So I've got a more visually appealing resource token.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can go and find resources. You can go and raid the other side's base camp, steal things,
Right.
rescue things that have broken down. I ran a game at Deal Wargaming Club recently where the Soviets were trying to make off with an American lunar buggy that had broken down.
Cheeky chappies, aren't they?
Very cheeky.
Got to watch them.
Is
Those
that the
blooming
one?
Ruskies.
Is that the one where the junior general beat Alex in
That's
the
the
game?
one,
That's
yeah.
the one, yeah. Destroyed his dad.
It's not hard
Good
to
lad.
beat.
Well,
Really.
no.
Alex, anything but not a one.
Yeah. I now consider this a stalled project because Dave Smith sold me some scenic items
Right.
that are still languishing in the box of shame.
Okay.
Once I've done those, then I might call it complete. But they're bringing out a box of plastic astronauts and cosmonauts on some kind of Kickstarter. You need 3 to 5 astronauts aside. I've got about 40,
Right.
and a box of 20 will do me right.
So, Phil, tell us, what have you brought for us for your latest project?
My latest project is I'm looking at games set during the Congo crisis in the 1960s.
Right.
So this is as far as I've got. It's a mix of Eureka, full metal miniatures, and a couple of Warlord heads where I've done some head swaps.
Nice.
It's for 1 hour skirmish war games, so I don't need many figures. So I've got 4 on the painting bench that are black undercoated, and then I've got to look at getting some suitable Africans. But
Right.
struggling with that at the minute. They all seem to be a bit too modern.
Right,
I'm
okay.
looking for figures in Lucky Grass, although I know Britannia do a range, but I think they're going to be too big to put up against these. But,
So did you say Lucky Grass?
Lucky Grass?
What's Lucky Grass?
The Simbas used to, or the opposition used to cover themselves in Lucky Grass, which was grass that had been blessed by a witch doctor,
Oh, right, okay.
which would make them impervious to a 7.62mm SLR round.
I'm surprised that that you weren't fitted out with that when you were doing your thing, Mark.
No comment.
A bit of Lucky Grass.
Don't need
Or,
lucky grass.
I suppose, or maybe you did hit the old Lucky Grass, did you?
Yeah, I was that far in the rear, I had to send my washing forward, mate. But I was further ahead than Mr. RAF, man, I tell you. God.
Yeah. Okay.
Jealousy is a
It's
terrible
not
thing.
jealousy, mate. It's not.
It
It's
is.
not. It's abject disdain. That's what it is. God.
So of the figures you've got here, Phil, what are there any that you're particularly proud of, or you particularly?
Well, I quite like this one.
Yeah.
This is Full Metal Miniatures, and I've
Yeah.
swapped him out with a Warlord plastic para
Right.
head.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Otherwise, Bushat would get a bit too common.
Yeah.
What I'm really looking for is like a stiffened Bushat that's turned up on the side. Looking at some photos, that was quite popular.
Right. Okay.
There's some very good clips on YouTube in colour showing the guys going in.
Might the Chindits or something have some that sort of?
They
that
all
sort
tend
of
to be
hat?
a bit floppy.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've not found anything suitable.
Right.
But I also like this guy in, I think they call it the Bigard cap,
Right. Okay.
which has got the front and rear flap. This
Yeah.
is a Eureka Portuguese soldier from the Ultramar War.
Oh wow!
But he'll fit in quite nicely.
So Eureka do a Portuguese sort of faction?
They do a Portuguese faction. Yeah.
Wow. Gosh, that's so niche, isn't it?
It is.
When you think about when we started wargaming, all the conversions and things that people would have to do, and now you can get sort of Portuguese.
I mean, if you said to somebody the Ultra Mar War, they're probably thinking you're talking about Ultravox from the 1980s.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is even more niche. This is an Aiden figure from Eureka.
Oh right, okay.
Of a British soldier with an SLR.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of Simon's Australians from Vietnam, which are very nice figures.
Yeah, they're very good.
This is another one, but with an American helmet added from Warlord.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, paint up really well, nice detail, rewards dry brushing well.
Yeah.
And so I just need to finish these off and then find some Africans. I might have to green stuff some lucky grass.
Yeah, that's it. That could be the answer.
And then just totally ignore morale rules for the Congolese, the Simbas.
Yeah. Just have them coming on.
I also need some Jeeps, of course. Armoured Jeeps.
Yeah. It's almost like there's a symmetry. It's just sort of thinking about it, you know, starting off with the Zulus and then you're sort of coming back to the...
Yeah, well...
I suppose it's a bit further north in Africa, but it's...
I do like games set in Africa because I spent 2 years out there when I was a kid.
Oh, really? What were you out there for?
My dad was working in a paper mill teaching the locals how to use the machinery.
Oh, wow.
And that kind of kick-started the Zulu thing.
Oh, right.
Because before we went, Mum took me
in?
to see Zulu.
Oh, before you went?
Before we
just
went.
To get you prepped and ready to go.
I was terrified. I was traumatised. I thought I was going to be in a little mission station with hordes of angry natives trying to spear me.
Yeah.
Mum reassured me that was about just under 100 years ago at the time. But we were in South
and it was
Africa,
at least 50-50 whether that was going to happen or not.
Yeah. Fortunately, I came through unscathed. Yeah. But I've just got a lasting love of things African.
Oh right. Oh, that's really interesting. Gosh. So that was South Africa, you say?
South Africa. Yeah, I lived in Durban for just under 2 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Do you remember it well? How old were you again?
I was probably about 73, so I would have been.
You were 73 back then. Wow! Gosh, you're weathering it well.
I'm wearing well. No, back in 73, so I would have been about 8. Yeah. And I've got a very vivid memory. There was a place called the Old Fort.
Yeah.
And it was a museum, and it was one of these white colonial stucco buildings.
Yeah.
And they had a statue of a guy on a horse.
Yeah.
And his name was Dick King.
Oh, right.
And my surname is King, so he could have been a relation. Yeah. And apparently back in the 1850s or whatever, they were having a bit of a dust up with the local Boer farmers.
Yes.
And Dick King slipped out and managed to get through the lines and brought a relief column back.
Oh, excellent.
So he was
cool.
Feb.
Oh, nice.
And it was a bit of a museum. Another thing that stuck in my mind, they had a World War II British tin helmet with an anti-tank shell stuck in it.
Oh, right, okay.
I kind of think they placed that in there for effect.
Yeah.
No CGI back then, was there?
No CGI back then.
Not in 73, was there?
Yeah.
No, not even green screen.
Yeah, so...
There we have it.
Yeah, truly good. So, Mark, what have you got for us?
So I've gone on to what everybody else a lot of people seem to be doing at the moment. Everything. So I've gone down the Wars of the Roses, based. So no
almost.
Digs. What do you mean almost? It's dirty field, mate.
Your Sabo base kind of devoid of any basing. Really? So 50%.
I can't win.
There's no win. Right, so gentlemen, here we are on the final round, the bonus round, where you can talk about anything you like to do with wargaming, of course. So, Mark, what have you got for us?
So, big reveal. I have got these World War II Finnish troops I haven't painted them because they're all based and they're all nice, so you can't dig me out for that.
Even the movement tray is based?
Even the movement tray is based, but I didn't do that. So I found a commission painter. I tried a few before, wasn't happy. Not happy that a lot of commission painters, I'm a pro, but what makes you a pro painter? Is there a
quite
special,
objective. It's subjective, isn't
is
it?
there a special certificate you get and blah 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 blah. So I found Jez who painted these. I'll put his address. I'll ask you to put his address in the link.
That'll be in the comment.
And every so often, if he's got a slot, I give him a quick email, and he predominantly does these World War II fins for me. So I like them. Might be a bit contentious getting figures painted, but
I don't think so. I think it's
I'm happy with it. If I can afford it, then I'll do it.
Yeah.
The long-haired chief of staff, she doesn't know about it, but they just go straight into the box. They haven't been gamed with yet.
Right. Okay.
But I'm sure.
Do you have a set of rules or something in mind for them?
No. They'll mostly be used for rapid fire. One of AD's
Okay.
scenarios will come up.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I like them. Yeah, there is a bit expensive. I can't remember how much these cost, but I've got others at home as well.
Sure.
And I enjoyed looking at other people's work. Phil's painted some for me as well, which I really appreciate, and they are very, very nice.
Yeah.
I do look at his and go, oh my God, why can't I do that?
Yeah.
It's like my missus, the long-haired chief of staff, she came in the man room one day, oh, that's a good figure. I said, yeah, Phil painted it. So it's all good.
And that one can double up as a Christmas ornament.
It could, yeah.
Dab of red paint on the nose and
Yeah,
you're off.
could do that, could do, yeah.
Is that a real thing? Did they really use reindeer to tow skiers?
Yeah, they did, yeah, skis supplies. I mean, I'm happy to send figures.
What make are the figures?
They are Eureka, and there's a couple of in there from a company called 172nd Miniatures, but they're not our 172nd Miniatures.
Right.
They're a Spanish company, and there are a couple of resin figures in there. They are very, very, very nice. Yeah, I enjoy them.
Another niche period.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Winter War.
Yeah, you're limited to where you can use them, but
I suppose the problem with doing a winter thing is you've then got to get all the winter table and scenery and all that sort of stuff.
There is that, but I do like to, especially with the Second World War stuff, I don't like to follow the, even though I have got some Fallschirmjägers, I don't want to follow the norm.
Yeah.
So I've got finished World War II, and I've also got in the box of shames some Dutch World War II as well. So.
Right.
But yeah,
Okay.
Fortunately, we live in the age where you can buy a printed full colour mat and there's your winter terrain.
Yeah, there is there.
Or desert, whatever.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I appreciate the effort that Jez puts into painting these. So that's all good.
Yeah, and I think the winter look is a great look on a Wargames table as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I've tried to do this. I can't do it. So the ones I tried, they're all unbased and everything before the dig goes. And
So you're the guy that goes around all the garden centres buying up all the Limax winter trees in January.
No.
All the Christmas decorations.
No.
No.
Pet shops for all
Pet
the
shops.
for all the stuff at the bottom of fish tanks. That's me.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All these constant digs from the RAF.
It's not a dig. It's a
Do you know what I
perfectly
mean?
viable
Jesus.
method of obtaining winter trees.
Yeah, I don't know if I've got any trees actually.
Far too sensitive. Of course not.
Maybe there is someone with trees.
Maybe.
There could be, yeah.
I just thought about winter wargaming the other day. You never see winter wargames with bare trees.
No, that's true.
Where would you buy bare trees?
Yeah. I saw someone
From the Winter Warfare shop.
Yeah, they used I think it was the K&M trees, but once they'd been like battered around by a club, and then they just knocked off the rest of the green stuff and just used them as like bare trees for what was it, Bastogne, for like the tree bursts and stuff.
I think Woodland Scenics do a tree armature, and it's flat and they're plastic, and you can twist it, so they'd probably look pretty good.
Yeah.
Base a few of them up.
That's way down the track though.
Down the track.
Yeah, down the track.
We all know that feeling.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Way down the track.
Mr. King, take us away.
Okay, so through the square window, showing my age there.
Yeah, absolutely. So which one of us is Zippy and which one's Bungle?
no comment. Although I think I might know who Bungle is.
Hey, keep your opinions to yourself.
Yes, Jeffrey. I've brought some. I bought this at Warfare either last year or the year before. The one you kindly drove me to.
Right. Okay.
And these are from a company that, I say company, one-man band, who's been around forever. And these are from Last Valley Terrain.
Right. Okay.
And I've always liked his terrain, and finally took the plunge and bought some bits, and it's great. I love it. It looks great. It's a very good price. I love how he does the tree stumps.
Yeah, I was just looking at those. They look great, don't they?
And the branches on the trees.
Oh yeah.
Very realistic. He's probably
So are they
stripped the local forest bare.
Well, I was going to say they look like they could be twigs or something that he's used.
Not sure how he does. That looks like rubberised
good.
horsehair that's just been scattered. But yeah, I think it's great. Very inexpensive. He's at most of the shows, and he has a Facebook presence. Sadly, no website.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, great. Love it. And
Right.
it works with 28mm perfectly.
Yeah.
These would probably work with 20mm at a stretch. This would make effective bocage if you're doing a World War II game in Northwest Europe.
Yeah, sure. They look great, wouldn't they?
I mean, he does all sorts. He does fields, streams, rivers, wadi sections.
Yeah, and I think the nice thing is you sort of see him at so many shows as well. You
Yeah.
know, it's I don't think I've been to a show that he's not been at. So it's really. Oh, having said that, I didn't see him at what was that one? Cavalier. Last week. So, but having said that, he is at a lot of shows, and it's always, as you say, it's always lovely stuff that he's got there. So, and it's good to hear that. You know, it's a good
And
price.
at the end of the show, it's always nice to see that he doesn't have much to take home.
Yeah. So good luck to him.
Yeah.
Again, we'll be putting a link to his stuff in the comments below.
Did you say they're at that Warfare show we went to? Is that the one where Paul took us up the one-way street, or was it the dead end?
That dead end alleyway.
Dead end, yeah. He took us up. I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Straight up the dead end.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
see, I wasn't going to mention that.
Well,
Rather pleased you
I'm
did.
sorry.
Yeah.
I've been digged out all night, so I thought someone else might
It's
get some
only
as well.
my turn. Yeah, that's it. That's fair. Yeah. I'm blaming the car sat nav. It was just like, oh yes, this looks.
It's good of you to repay his kindness and
Well,
drive me up
it
there
is,
by bringing that up,
I know.
really, you know.
Well, I blame the person, the RAF, who was sitting in the front, really. So
Don't look at me, it was the sat nav.
was sat there for
Yeah.
technology.
Although I
again.
was never an officer, so I was probably going to be pretty good with a map.
Well, yeah. Well,
Cool.
beg to differ. So.
Well, gentlemen, thank you ever so much for coming along and joining me with this. And this will be the first one that I've done, so I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been fun.
It's been good fun, and
Yeah.
it's been a lesson on how not to base figures.
Hi there, thanks for watching to the end of the video. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and why not check out Paul Barnett's show games right here. Thank you very much.